Hello guys, it's March 29th, 2023. Behind me is the area we're strip grazing. We finished feeding hay in our Bale grazing area. It's been almost a week ago. Wanted to show you what things look like. This is a field that we had Bale grazed the last 3 years, so I'm going to show you what that looks like and kind of what to expect. This is an area we had fed hay last year. You can see they had wasted or didn't eat a lot of hay, and there's not much grown back here, but I'll show you other areas from a year and 2 years, from 2 to 3 years ago, where it's grown back really well. This is probably the worst area, but as you can see, as you look across the field, most areas have grass regrowth. This is an area it's harder to see, but it's kind of, I'm gonna make a circle. This is where a hay roll was fed a couple years ago. This is probably, I'm gonna assume, 3 years ago. The grass is not quite as tall here, but there's lots of clover. Hopefully you can appreciate all the clover, a little bit of orchard grass and some bluegrass, some weeds, but not terrible. Again, that was, I'm assuming, 2 to 3 years ago that we had fed hay here on this area. Here's another spot. Hope you can appreciate this. This is almost completely clover. This is all what looks like, I think it's going to be red and white clover mixed together, some orchard grass, and this is where we had fed hay. So again, almost completely clover. We did not seed this. All this came up on its own. Again, I think you're changing the biology of the soil. It makes different grasses want to grow. Again, this is an area where we had fed hay last year, and there's a lot of hay that still needs to decompose. This will grow grass in these areas, but it's just going to take some time. Again, another example, grass is breaking down. There's starting to be some other grass grow through the hay that's breaking down. Then to the left, I'm assuming this is from 2 years ago. Again, almost all clover. Hope you can appreciate that. It's not very tall yet, but there's a lot of clover coming up. So this is an area where we fed hay. Again, same field. We've grazed this field down so the cows can come in. There's a gap back in here where the cows can come into this field. Their water source is over to the right, and then we've been grazing them here. They can graze up to this fence row. So you can see we put up a temporary electric fence going across the field, and we're giving them a strip of grass. So strip grazing is where you give the cattle a strip, let them graze it, give them another strip, let them graze it, and then keep doing that. So behind me, I'm standing in the area we have not grazed yet, and then may be hard to see the back fence, but there is back there. You can see the back fence there. So what we'll do, we'll pan back around. So when we're ready to move them, we will take this fence down. My back fence is already set, and then I'm going to set up the next fence. So our back fence is roughly here. I'll go back roughly 50, 60 feet and make another fence going across, and then that'll provide the next back fence. And we just keep doing that as long as we need. So again, the goal of our strip grazing is to give them, basically we're rationing off a grass. So we only want them to have so much grass, enough to keep them full, but we also want to save the grass to allow the grass ahead of them time to regrow. So we're basically just trying to buy some time to let the spring grass start to move to grow and get ahead of them a little bit. And then what I will start doing at that point would be to start more of my traditional rotational grazing. So this strip grazing is basically just trying to buy a little bit of time, let the grass grow, trying to avoid having to feed any more hay, and trying to save money on hay, but also keep the cows in good shape and also not overgraze. That way the grass comes back. So we're wrapping it up for today. One final parting note I wanted to make was, this does not have to be something you do every day when you're strip grazing. So there are people that will move electric fence every day, and that's great if you have time to do that. We typically will move the fence every 2 to 3 days. We are here every day right now checking the cows because they're calving. But then, so we're moving the strip grazing fence every roughly 2 to 3 days right now. Once we start our rotational grazing, then we typically will rotate them every 4 to 5 days, sometimes up to 7 days, depending on what field they're in. So again, this is something you can apply some management without taking a tremendous amount of time. It does just take a little bit of thought and effort and a plan. Hope you all have a good day.